All right, y'all. Welcome to Street Church congregation. Come on in. And for first time visitors, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, this video is going to be about the son of NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. His son is named Adam Abdul-Jabbar. He is 29 years old. He may be 30 now. But I believe he's still 29. He was recently sentenced to 180 days and 2 years probation. Those 180 days he can serve on house arrest. Now, the reason why I think that this sentence that he received for his actions is way too low. Way too low. And this is an example of how the ideal that black people in government, our politicians, our activists, our leaders in communities, is trying to push the narrative of white privilege. And white privilege has been the basis for them trying to push DEI and critical race theory. And this dispels this because privilege comes from prestige, power, and influence, never by race. It is the prestige, the power, and the influence that you hold as an individual and that you inherit by the power and authority and prestige that someone in your family or friend holds. And they give you the ability to use that privilege. And it don't have nothing to do with color. And this is a shining example of that, because here it is, he received 180 days, which can be done on house arrest, which is basically he's not going to serve any time in jail, no hard time, something to wake him up. Because his behavior and his actions toward the person, the victim in question, was he had stabbed a 60-year-old man by the name of Raymond Windsor. Now, it wasn't said in the report or the article that he was white or black, but it does not matter. It matters really because of this man's age. He had no regard for him dealing with an elder, right? He had no respect for his elder, no matter what color this man was. And it was over trash cans. He stabbed this 60-year-old man in his head, his back, his neck, and his side. These are strikes to kill. These are areas where there are vital organs at. They said that this man almost died from his injuries, that he stabbed him so hard in his head that he fractured it. So his intentions, out of anger, was to kill this man. But thankfully, by the grace of God, this man did not die. We talking about 60 years old. Now he's 29 or 30 when he did this. Adam Abdul-Jabbar, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's son. And all he's going to get is 180 days and 2 years probation, which he can serve on house arrest. Come on, this is Street Church. We're going to lay this all out. This is an injustice. This is very unjust. And this is due to his dad. Make no mistake about it. It happened in California, the Lakers. Right? It happened in California, where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is sure to have the most power and influence. Southern California is where this incident happened, where his dad, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, would have the most influence. And it was used in his privilege. He is serving the kind of time that he is serving due to privilege. And so it is shameful and it is very wicked that black people continue to push the narrative of white privilege, to push DEI, to push critical race theory, CRT, on Americans, to try to make white people feel like they are inherently racist or bigots or prejudiced based on the color of their skin, and say that there is a such thing as white privilege, and it's not. It's just privilege. There are people who are in power, there are people who have influence, and there are people who are related to them or are friends with these people who are allowed to use this privilege, this prestige and power that people hold, and it has nothing to do with color. And it is shameful and it is sickening to see that black people are using this as a means to bully their way into power, to push a narrative on people, to have people walking on eggshells around them so that they can manipulate that into money, into power, into influence. That's all it is. It's black people blackmailing white people into believing that because of slavery, they have inherited racism. They have inherited prejudice. They have inherited bigotry. And it's a lie. And it's a lie from the devil. And it's very wicked. And it's unjust and it's unrighteous. And his son, Adam Abdul-Jabbar, should have gotten years in prison. No question about it. He should have got at least 10 to 15 years in prison for stabbing this man, and this man almost bleeding out due to his injuries and being a 60-year-old man. Imagine if someone had done that to his dad. Kareem is old. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is an elderly man now. Imagine somebody doing that to Kareem. I would want Kareem's, if somebody had done that, I would want the suspect who was charged and found guilty in the stabbing of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, God forbid, but I'm just saying if the roles were reversed, I would want that person to serve all day in prison if that was available, if that was on the table. You understand what I'm saying? I would want him to serve 10 to 15 years. And it's no different here. His son should not just only be doing 180 days and 2 years probation for nearly stabbing a man to death. There's no way. There's no way. White or black, Chinese or Mexican, Italian or Indian, Russian, it don't matter. It's a 60-year-old man who was stabbed to death by a younger man, and for something very frivolous, trash cans. Something very trivial, something very frivolous, trash cans. An argument over trash cans made him escalate to almost stabbing a man to death. He's got an anger issue. He's got issues that need to be dealt with, but his crime need to be dealt with first. And as he does the time, his anger issues need to be dealt with. And he should have got time. No less than 10 years. No less. He should have got at least 10 years. And if it had been somebody without, that wasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's son, a ordinary citizen with no privileges, not because of color of skin, because imagine, listen, if a white man had done this, right? A young white man had stabbed a black man, or he had stabbed someone of his own race, and he was 29, and he stabbed an elderly man. Y'all chime in the comments. Do you believe that he would have got 180 days and 2 years probation? Anyone without being Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's son. Any man who was not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's son. And think about this. And they wasn't in Cali, right? They was in another state without being Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's son. Do you think that? There's cases going on right now where they throwing the book at people for stabbing an elderly person. Even if it's an elderly person against another elderly person, that person is getting time. Maybe not as much just because of the age, but that big of a gap, and you attack a 60-year-old man like he did to where this man almost died, that's like attempted murder. Manslaughter. How can you just get 180 days and 2 years probation, and the 180 days can be served on house arrest? Come on. Listen, this is Street Church. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, share, run the views up. And I got a merch store that is linked to this channel, and it would be nice if y'all supported the channel by getting you a t-shirt, getting you a cup, getting you a water bottle, and you can even start your fall collection early by getting you a hoodie. On that, I'm letting the congregation out. God bless.